Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jared. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. As of this recording, it's not yet, but when you guys hear this, it will be finally spring.
Finally. It's here.
Yeah, and I think this may be the first year. I think I have a little bit of allergies.
Uh-oh.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just keep waking up with just like my head, like it feels all clogged up. And I don't feel bad. I think it's just allergies. It's annoying because it clears up kind of as the day goes on.
So, yeah, I was talking about this last night, I think, to you, is that like it's worse in the nighttime and the morning for me. But during the day, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And for years, if you've listened to the podcast long enough, you'll know that for years I have suffered in the Midwest spring season.
So it was worse in the Midwest.
It was
right?
worse in the Midwest,
Yeah.
where I would just be so miserable for about a month and a half, where everything was just blooming. But down here in Florida, it's way better. Whatever was triggering me in the Midwest and Missouri just doesn't down here. So I'm just so thankful that I am so much better down in Florida because it's very manageable. However, now we figured out that our poor son, is suffering from allergies as well, and he is just so miserable right now.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for him. Just itchy eyes. Just walks around saying, "My eyes are itchy." I'm like, "But I'm sorry."
Yeah,
It's so sad.
I've never had allergies. And then I
Yeah.
think maybe they're really strong. I don't know, because typically it doesn't bother me at all. But if my
Yeah.
voice sounds kind of weird, that may be as to why. But
It sounds normal. You're
okay.
good.
It feels to me that it sounds very like, I don't know, not nasally. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, and because of that, it's spring break. And so we're going to talk about, we got some news we're going to go over. And then Jamie is going to talk about her and our daughter had a little mommy-daughter day at Flower Garden. We all were going to go. So this is, if you guys have been listening, this has been an ongoing saga about finally getting to go to Disney. And then, of course, like the day before we go, we noticed our son's allergies were really bad. And he was like, I was like, maybe taking him to a festival where there's a bunch of blooming flowers and things may not be the best idea. So me and baby Thor, or whatever, big Thor at this point, as we call him, we stayed home. We did some home improvements. I replaced a kitchen sink, and we did some errands and things while Jamie and our daughter went to Epcot. So did get to go. Not all of us. So I suppose that's still somewhat of an ongoing saga there. But we're going to talk about that today on the show. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you didn't know we had video versions of the show, we do over at CTM Podcast on YouTube. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form, you can find us on all the major platforms there under Capture the Magic Podcast. We please ask you to please subscribe, leave us a review. It'd greatly appreciate it. It helps us continue to grow the show. And over on YouTube as well, we now have memberships available. So if you want to be part of the membership there, you can join now. We're going to do some exclusive live streams, some exclusive content. We're going to be staying at the Terra Luna Resort very soon.
Yay.
So we're going to do some exclusive content in there and some other things there. So if you want to join, like what we do here, you can become a member of the channel, and we would greatly appreciate that. All right, well, let's get into the news. So
Okey-dokey.
as we've discussed before, part of Disney's plan this year is lounges. So we have two pieces of lounge news that are coming from the parks. So the first one we're going to talk about is the DVC lounge in Magic Kingdom has actually opened early.
Yeah, McKim's Mile House in Frontierland actually opened on Tuesday. McKim, the name McKim comes from Imagineer Sam McKim, who worked on the original Frontierland in Disneyland. And a Mile House, which I didn't know this, but a Mile House is basically like a hotel that travelers would stop at to rest as they moved along the frontier.
You know how I know that?
How do you know that?
From playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my gosh, why did I think that you were going to say that?
Because that was in the game.
Yes.
And I love that game.
Anyway, yeah, so McKim Mile House is what it's called. And then the lounge kind of looks like a log cabin it's got like wood floors, it's got a big stone fireplace, lots of pictures around, and some are of like this fictional family that like owns the Mile House, if you will. And on the second floor is where you'll find the quote unquote hotel rooms, but you can't go up there. It's just for show, like it is.
Man.
And so there are Easter eggs like all over the place. The names on some of the hotel doors are Barnabas T. Bullion, which is the owner of Big Thunder Mining Company. which is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad,
Okay.
which is kind of cool. And then one is M. Davis, which is referring to Mark Davis.
Yes.
So that's an Easter egg too. So that's pretty cool. And there's freestyle machines, which are complimentary. Chairs, sofas, charging stations, Wi-Fi. There's a place to like chillax.
But again, you have to be a DVC member or know somebody to get in here. But yeah.
Yes. If you are a guest of a DVC member, that would also work too.
I will say this lounge has made me wonder. I just at this point I don't know what they're going to do with Frontierland, because I've been saying for a while I think they're going to get rid of it. But this lounge is very Frontierland-esque.
It's very
like
Frontier.
they're calling out to like people that developed Frontierland.
Yeah.
So now I'm just I don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to make a cartoon Cars attraction work in there. But I don't, after seeing this, maybe they don't do away with Frontierland. I don't know.
I really hope not. It's open daily from 11 to 6. So just a few hours in the middle of the day.
Interesting. That's not very long.
It's not, but I mean, I think it's pretty standard with like the one at Epcot. And
Oh, okay.
so it's like, it's fine, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, that's open. If you're a DVC member, you can stop on by. And I think, I'm not sure how they're handling like crowd, like I think it's like reservation kind of thing. So you walk up, if there's no availability, they'll put you on a list, basically.
Right.
So, but yeah, so.
Well, hopefully we can check this out sometime
Hopefully.
with some of our friends
We
that
have
have
some
DVC.
DVC friends, yes.
So maybe we can check that out. I'm interested to see what it's like in there. But
Yeah.
And then the second lounge that we have news about is the Spaceship Earth Lounge. And we have some more details, including the name of this lounge.
Which is called Geo82, which sounds like Geostorm.
Geostorm! If you guys
To
don't know what
me.
Geostorm is, do yourself a favor. If you're a fan of Gerard Butler, Jerry Butler as he's affectionately
Watch
called.
that movie.
He's fantastic. He's in that movie. Just go watch it. It's good.
But
it's actually
obviously-
not good. It's like so campy and like a silly movie that it's good in that way.
Yeah, and so obviously 82 refers to the year Epcot opened. But the lounge will serve those 21 years and older. This is a adult-only lounge.
That is
interesting.
It is
right?
interesting. I said, we talked about in the live stream last night. I think if any park is the least, I would just say, like, as a kid, I think the least favorite park of a kid would be Epcot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things that are, obviously there's some attractions and rides for kids, but for the most part, most people go to Epcot for the festivals.
Yeah.
Drinking around the world, eating around the world, whatever. So I guess if any park was going to do it, it would be Epcot. But it is different because even the bars around Disney World, kids can come in there. I don't know if they can sit at the bar itself, but like kids can go in, sit at tables and stuff like that. So it's definitely different from everything else, like alcohol-related establishments around property.
It's true. So Disney says that this lounge will be the ultimate spot to toast to a trip around Epcot with innovative cocktails and globally influenced small plates while you take in spectacular park views. Now, reservations will be required. This is not a walk-up situation. We were thinking about it last night, like, what will they do about time limits? Are they going to be like Oga's Cantina, where they only allow you to stay like 45 minutes? Is that going to be one of those things?
I do wonder, because everybody's going to want to get in there for fireworks.
Yeah, because if you're unfamiliar with where it's located, is if you're looking at if you're looking toward the Figment Topiary right now, that's in the middle of World Celebration Gardens. There you can see Spaceship Earth behind it. There is I don't even know, just like almost like a row of windows on the back that looks like it kind of surrounds the outside of Spaceship Earth. That is where the lounge is going. This used to be a Siemens lounge, like they used to be sponsoring Spaceship Earth, and it used to be used for some other stuff there, but they haven't used it in a long time, and this is a great use of that space. So,
yeah.
as far as like not letting children in and being 21 and older, I think that it is. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion.
It's also too, like, for the most part. I mean, I've never been personally in a Disney bar that I've seen people getting like plastered. Also, because you would have to, like, that's an investment. You're going to spending hundreds of dollars to do that. I don't know. It's one of those things where obviously this is, people are going to say this is placating to the Disney adults crowd, which I think Epcot is the park that does that the most. So I suppose if you're going to do this, Epcot is the park to do it. It's just very interesting that I was surprised to see that. Because like Nomad Lounge, kids can go in there. Mm-hmm. All the other lounges around property, like the Pirates of the Caribbean lounge that they're doing in Magic Kingdom as well. That one I believe is going to be for families. So
I think this is one of those wait and see things too, because they may change it. It may just be 21 and up for now, and then they may change it later. Who knows?
It also could be a way to try and reduce the capacity, because obviously this is going to like families with their kids aren't going to be able to go in here, so they may be trying to limit just by doing that. And if not enough people come in here, maybe they loosen it. It could be something like that. But
I don't think they'll have a problem.
Probably not. Probably not.
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little update on that.
Yes. So you can check that out. Have they said when it opens?
No.
Yeah.
Not definitely. I think summer.
I would assume.
Spring.
I would assume you're going to see it within. I would say by June for sure.
You think so?
If not sooner.
Hopefully.
All right, let's move on to the next story, which is early entry at Magic Kingdom has had a slight change.
Yeah, so previously, if you arrived for early entry, rope drop, you would head to the right side of the hub. You would scan your band with the cast member to check that you were good to enter during early entry. And that was including all of the Disney-owned resort hotels on property, plus Swan and Dolphin, Shades of Green, and some of the Good Neighbor hotels. And then you would line up either in Tomorrowland or Fantasyland in like just one big group. And they had the rope there. You couldn't go past into Tomorrowland. You couldn't actually go into Fantasyland, but you were there on those two separate walkways. Okay. Now, after scanning your band, you were able to just line up at the attraction of your choosing. So if early entry starts at 8:30, which it usually does, cast members will start letting you line up as early as 7:45.
I mean,
so
that's an interesting move, because what if a ride doesn't open?
So that is a concern, definitely. So personally, being held at those ropes before, it would just be a mad dash when they drop it at 8:30 to get in line.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest, right?
I don't like removing survival of the fittest scenarios here.
Right, but like you are waiting in that area for 45 minutes or whatever you got in until the rope dropped to go get in line. So if you wait in line, let's say you get in line at 7:45 at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and at 8:30 they say it's delayed opening. Sorry guys, it's not going to open. Like, do you stay and wait? Do you go to a different ride? Like, you could have to decide. But you're stuck in the front. Let's say you're at the front. Yeah. You're stuck in the front of that ride about to go on, and you just have to go through, get out. Like, it's kind of a hassle in that way for sure. Also too, this is kind of interesting. So like most attractions in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are open during early entry, but Tron is not. Right. So you can go at early entry at 7:45 and line it for Tron and wait for 75 minutes.
Right.
If you want to do that.
Yeah.
And I know you can do that now. I mean, at 8:30, you can line up for 30 minutes before the attraction opens. So I don't know if there's more waiting time exactly.
I mean, you're still waiting in line.
You may wait a little bit less doing the other way. I don't know. It just depends on what you're wanting to do. You're still waiting in line. It's just a different line.
Right. I mean, I guess obviously the advantage would be you get a major ride out of the way first. And then
True.
You have other things you can do that may have less wait times. But yeah, I'm wondering if they just had too many people that were getting in there for early entry
at the ropes.
Yeah. Or maybe they were having some. I mean, that's
the only thing I can think of.
People could be a little aggressive trying to get spots.
Maybe.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So other parks do this as well, where they can let you get in line at the beginning during early entry, like Hollywood Studios for sure. But it's just interesting that Magic Kingdom is changing to this. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how it works.
We'll see how
I don't know if it's better or worse, to be quite honest. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Next story we have is It's Tough to Be a Bug is now closed forever in Animal Kingdom.
It is. And I am sorry to say I do not miss it.
I mean, this was I guess you could say this is one of the last rides where they didn't care to scare children.
I guess that wasn't my problem. My problem was that, I hated my butt getting
I didn't like it at all. Yeah.
Stung. I hated that. I hated the spiders from the ceiling. I was like, all of this is cringy.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't want to feel like bugs are crawling all over me.
Yeah.
That's not something that's on my list of things I like to do personally, but
yep. So Zootopia attraction is coming this coming winter.
Yeah, I think Animal Kingdom's going to struggle this summer, if I were to guess.
Well,
tons of construction.
There's no Tough to Be a Bug. There's no Triceratops spin. There's not much
Chester
stuff. And Hester.
There's really not a lot to do anyways in that park right off the bat.
I mean, those are two little things that while they don't gain a lot of like crowds, it's still two things that.
Right. And those are things that families and kids like to do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the last few years, Animal Kingdom's already taken a pretty significant hit on attendance anyway. So you're going to have a bunch of stuff under construction. And whenever Tropical Americas opens, I think it'll recover from that. But yeah, Animal Kingdom's I think it's going to have little struggles this year in terms of attendance.
I think you might be correct on that.
I would wager at least, but I don't like to bet, so I'm not going to wager. But
okay,
Monopoly money. All right, next story we have is the Grand Cottage and Egg Display is open at the Grand Floridian for Easter.
Yeah, so it is the annual Easter cottage that they set up where you can buy sweets and treats. March 18th through April 20th is when it's going to be open. So it's open until Easter Day, and it's open daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I did not know this, but this has only been around. This is only the fourth year of this.
Is it really?
The first year was 2022. I thought it'd been around a lot longer than that. I did too. But it makes sense. I think they were trying to get people to come back to the parks in 2022.
Right.
And that was just one more thing to do that was easy.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But so egg displays this year, which are kind of cool. So we got Maleficent's Dragon. We've got Owl's Toy Barn from Toy Story. Beauty and the Beast, which is a really cool one. It's just hard to explain. Expedition Everest with the Yeti. That's really cool. Madame Leota in the crystal ball, but it's an egg. Cinderella, and it's like the bubbles when she's cleaning and have the bubbles float in that one scene. It's like that.
Oh, yeah.
Zootopia one. There's an orange bird. There's a big Anxiety from Inside Out 2 one that's there. 101 Dalmatians with a really terrifying display of Cruella. Like her face looks really scary. Tarzan, you got Dumbo, got Evil Queen from Snow White, and many more. So if you want to see some awesome egg displays, go to Grand Floridian. Now the Beach and Yacht Club and the Contemporary all have egg displays that will be up starting April 1st. There's going to be a Thumper from Bambi. You know Thumper the rabbit?
I'm aware of Thumper. Yes.
From Bambi, there's going to be a popcorn bucket with him that you can purchase beginning March 25th, only at Epcot at the popcorn carts, which is an interesting choice. Why only Epcot? But more spring and Easter treats will be available. Let's see, they start at the beginning of this week, so it's already started. So
okay, well, if you're looking to do some extra stuff around property, that's something you can go check out.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I wanted to mention that I didn't include in the news, but it's just anecdotal, so I didn't want to include it as news. But so beginning of 2025 started the perk of staying on property, where you get a free admission to Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon water park on your check-in day, right?
Right.
Okay. So it hasn't been used a ton because it's been chillier at the beginning of the year, but now that it's March and it's warming up, it's getting used a lot more. And someone was saying how at the beginning of the day when they went, it was not bad. Like, there were people there, but it wasn't terrible. But by like noon, 1 o'clock, it was starting to get busy. And by late afternoon, it was packed.
I mean, it makes sense.
So if you choose to take advantage of this, and it's during the warmer months, obviously, just be prepared for it to get really busy by about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Where it usually kind of dies down because usually people go in the morning and then they're, but I think last Saturday, someone said that they closed the parking lot because it was so busy. Like,
that's crazy.
They wouldn't let any more cars in.
I mean, yeah.
So, I don't know.
I've been curious if people will use it. So, I mean, it is a free thing to do, which is not something you find at Disney much.
Yeah.
In terms of getting into a theme park, or at least a water park. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I would say for sure if you're able to check in early, like the earlier you could do that, the better. Because I do wonder how many people check in and then they're like, they tell them maybe at check-in, like, oh, by the way, you can go to, water park for free. So instead of maybe going swimming, they're like, oh, let's go to the water park.
Yeah. I think a really cool idea, if you're coming, let's say you're coming to Disney for a week. I think a really cool idea to do is to do a split stay and do like, let's say you get in like, afternoon or evening on the first day, only stay like 2 nights at one hotel.
Yeah.
Do the parks during that one. Maybe say it's like a value or whatever. 2 or 3 nights, do parks a couple days. And then on that 3rd day or 4th day or whatever, when you're switching hotels, since it's the beginning of a new stay, you're checking in that day, you get that free water park.
Yeah.
Then you take advantage and go early because you're already there. You're already in Orlando.
It's not a bad idea.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You could also do a split stay every single day. You could just do a different hotel every day and have free water park for like a week.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
There's no rules against it. So
you have to be really into water parks, but you could do that.
I mean, you could do that.
Yeah. A lot of moving hotels there, but you could. Well, the only other story I'm going to add as well is in Disney's pursuit to remake everything. Apparently, there's a new Power Rangers series in development for Disney Plus.
Oh, Jared.
No, I don't like this.
No?
Leave it alone. Things from my childhood, leave it alone. It's the same thing that's happened with like the Ninja Turtles.
Wait a minute. Live action Power Rangers, aren't they already live action?
They are. And see, here's the thing about Power Rangers. This is why I'm very like don't do this.
Don't do this.
Because the original Power Rangers was adapted for a Japanese show called Super Sentai, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so what they did was they just took footage from that show, like the fight scenes and things like that, and they would just dub it over, and then they would film like the scenes where they're out of the costume. And like it was just like a very simple show. So it was like, I mean, it was corny when I was a kid, but I don't know if we need to be remaking Power Rangers. I think we could just leave it alone. Not everything has to be a remake here.
I wholeheartly agree with that statement. I don't think you have to remake everything.
Yeah. So I'm not. It's very rare. Like even battling nostalgia, you're for the most part never going to win unless you're literally just celebrating the original thing. Like you're not gonna be like, we're remaking. Like if they remade Back to the Future. Even if it was a great movie, it's never going to be better than the original because you're going to be like, I've loved that movie for 30 years.
Yeah.
Just make your own new thing. Don't call it Power Rangers. Anyways, I just saw that. And I was like, come on.
Oh.
Now we're at the bottom of the barrel. We're remaking Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I do like the idea, though, of dubbing over foreign shows just to make your own concept. There's a lot of possibilities with that.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if Power Rangers weren't my thing, so
like a Mexican soap opera that you turn into like a superhero show somehow.
Oh my.
That'd be kind of funny.
I just don't even know.
Anyways, all right. Well, that's it for the news, but we do have a poll time.
Poll time. All right. Yep. We got a poll time this week. First one, like a month. So this one was about Flower and Garden. And I asked the question to social media, what is a good budget for Flower and Garden Festival outdoor kitchens if you only have one day at Epcot? If you just got the whole day, you're going to be Epcot, how much do you want to spend on the outdoor kitchens? 60% said more than $100.
What?
Yeah. You got one day and you want to try as much as you can. More than 100 is your budget. 31% said 75. 8% said 50 and 1% said 25. So overwhelmingly, people are like, you're spending at least $75. Now, I have to agree that this is probably close to what would be considered necessary to like try as much as you want, because like drinks, if you're drinking alcohol especially, they're expensive.
Oh, alcohol in theme parks is wild.
Yeah. So if you get like 1 or 2 drinks, that's like at least $40 right there.
At least $75 right there.
At least. So that plus the food. So absolutely, like definitely more than 100. Now, if you'd asked me 6 years ago, 7 years ago, how much would you spend in festival? I'd say 50, because the prices just have inflated so much.
Unless you're covering this stuff to review it. I mean, for me personally, if I'm spending $100 on food, I would much rather go to like a fancy restaurant.
Go to like Le Cellier.
Yeah,
and get
like for the same money. Like I'm not like the food's fine, but it's for the most part you're getting very small portions of things to try. I would much rather just have a big meal that I walk away full and satisfied. Personally speaking,
Yeah.
I understand like the food booths and things like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's way higher than I thought people would have said.
I know.
I figured most people would go toward like the 50.
Not anymore. No. There's just a lot to try, and so
apparently we need to send out correspondents that are dropping $100 every time they go to review a lot of the food items.
No.
No.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that.
Oh, okay.
No, but I mean, I asked this question because I knew that we would be going to Flower and Garden to try stuff, and we actually I actually didn't spend as much as $100 this time, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, thank you everybody for participating in the poll. I will have a new poll soon. Sometime.
Yeah, you can find those in the Capture the Magic Facebook group or over on Instagram at Cap the Magic. Jamie posts those in the stories. So
I do.
You can go check those out. So, all right. Well, speaking of Flower and Garden, let's talk about your time at Flower and Garden. So, like I said, we were all going to go. End up being Jamie and our daughter. So I'm just going to interview Jamie here about what she did.
Okay.
So what dishes did you try? And what were your thoughts?
Well, I made the decision that we were not going to go into World Showcase. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But that was what we made the decision. So everything that we tried was in the World Celebration, World Nature, or World Discovery area. Okay?
Okay.
Let's establish that.
Okay.
Established
it has been.
Establish that. So we started at Florida Fresh, which is the outdoor kitchen that's located in the Communal Core Plaza. It's usually Festival Favorites, but they renamed it Florida Fresh.
I think they should rename it Florida Fresh.
Florida Fresh.
Florida Fresh.
So we tried the two new food items, which was the conch. Is it conch or conch?
I think it's conch.
Okay. I know sometimes people say it interchangeably.
It's got an H in there.
I know. So I'm going to say conch. Conch fritters with key lime aioli and the Florida strawberry shortcake. And the Florida strawberry shortcake is a vanilla pound cake with strawberry sauce, and whipped cream. The fritters were $6.50 and the strawberry shortcake was $5.50.
Okay. And how were they?
The fritters were delicious.
Okay.
You would have eaten them.
Okay.
Honestly, like they were fried enough to where like you could obviously you could taste, like it had a seafood taste to it, but not a ton. Like I think you would have actually enjoyed these, especially with the sauce. The key lime aioli was so good. Like it literally made it. Like it was tangy enough to like kind of neutralize the friedness of it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it provided a lot of flavor. So I loved this. I would definitely get those again. I think they give you five of them, and they're pretty good size.
Okay.
The size is like hush puppies, if you will.
So was it worth the price, you think?
Yeah, $6.50 is worth it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And then the strawberry shortcake, this was okay. There's nothing special about it. It was the cake was not super moist. It was just very much like it had been sitting in a refrigerator for a while, and but it was fine. I do like what they put it in, and they put in these little they're bowls, but they're the cardboard bowls,
like the deep pocket ones.
Yeah, I did like those. I was happy to have tried that.
Okay.
So anyway, that was new over there this year. And then we moved over to the beach grub and the yacht grub area. And the beach grub, I only got one thing, and I got the s'mores bar.
Okay.
The s'mores bar is new also this year, and this is the fudge brownie, dark chocolate, toasted meringue, and smoked graham cracker. And the price on this was $5.50. Okay. This was very messy.
As s'mores tend to be.
Messy. And it was one of those things where like I thought with the pictures that the chocolate part on the very bottom, because they almost like almost dip it in marshmallow, it looks like.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of what it looks like. But the bottom part, that's chocolate, it was not like a shell.
Oh, really?
It was warm and it was gooey. So immediately, first bite, it took all over my face. Just fine. But it was good. The brownie part was not, it was okay. That was the most lacking part of it, was the main brownie part.
Okay.
The marshmallows was good. The graham cracker crumbles on the top was good. The sauce was good. But the actual brownie inside, it could have been a little more moist. I'm sorry for the word, but it could have been a little more of that.
Okay.
But would I get it again? Yeah, I would get it again for the kids and for you to try for sure.
Did our daughter like it?
She did. It was getting hot at that time, and I think she was tired and she didn't want any more. So
yeah,
I mean, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so we had that at Beach Grub, and then I went over to Yacht Grub and tried two things. I got the trio of dips and chips, which is potato chips, and it says potato chips and caviar. I don't see any caviar. I don't know if I think the caviar was on top of the.
It was probably on top of one of the dips.
The onion dip.
So you had some fancy caviar.
But it had caramelized onion dip, the whipped feta dip, and pimento cheese with the chips. You guys, this is so good.
Was the caviar good? I've actually never had caviar.
I mean, I think so. It didn't bother me.
Okay.
Like I was very concentrated. My favorite was the feta. The feta dip was my favorite. Now, I had seen on social media that the second day and third day, sometimes it could like be a little runny. And I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that."
Like it's been
this
warm
was not,
or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was not like that. It was perfect. So I had this, even our daughter tried some. And she was like, "That's pretty good." I was like, "Okay, great."
She's getting so adventurous with her eating.
Yes, she is. But this is a great shareable dish. It's very simple. Like there's not a lot to it, obviously, but it's a great dish to share if you're just wanting a little snack or whatever. They also have like a meat assorti, which is, it basically looks like a little charcuterie board.
Okay.
Kind of. Same thing with the artisanal cheeses and accompaniments. So I didn't get any more food, but I did get a beverage. I got an elderflower sparkling cocktail, and this is sparkling wine, Seagram's club soda, and Saint Germain elderflower liqueur.
Okay.
And this was $7.50. The trio of chips and dips were $6.50, I believe.
So a cocktail was $7.50?
Cocktail was $7.50.
Okay.
And it came in like a skinny glass. I mean
like a champagne type thing.
Yeah, like a very, very long champagne flute kind of. And it was good. It was okay. I wish it was a little bit sweeter, but that's just my taste. You know,
You're
I
not
like
really
it sweeter.
a wine person though either.
You're right. I'm not really a wine person, but it was bubbly, so that's why I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Was it very strong, you think?
Not very strong.
Yeah.
No. If I had to go back, I would probably try the orange next, just to give a little more orangey flavor. But they do have a cocktail flight that's $14.50, and I almost got that, but I was like, I am going to be the only one drinking this.
That's true.
So I don't want
that is
I
true.
don't want to I don't want to get too much. And
usually
that's the
I'm there to clean up whatever Jamie doesn't drink or eat. So.
But that was the only alcohol I actually got this day, because I was just like, well, that's not my focus, but you know, I wanted to try at least something. And the elderflower sparkling cocktail was good. Like I said, it had hints of the elderflower. It wasn't like too overpowering, but it was just, I wish it was a little just more sweet.
Okay.
Just in my opinion.
All right.
But yeah, so that was Yacht Grub. And then they have that new playground that's in between Yacht Grub and Beach Grub. I forgot what it's called. Play Along. Is it Play Along Bay or something? I forgot what it's called. But anyway, it's that little playground, and she made some friends, and it was so busy in there. There were so many kids. There's so many families just hanging out. So definitely gets used. Definitely a good thing.
Oh yeah.
So we got that, and we went over there, and then a little bit later, we went over to Connections Eatery, and we got the lavender lemon dessert. So it's lemon lavender Baumkuchen.
Baumkuchen?
Baumkuchen.
Okay.
That's what it is. And it was $6.29, and it basically looked like a upside down rainbow.
Oh, okay.
And the Baumkuchen is like what it's called, but it's like, it looks like it's layers of like thin cake. It's hard to explain because I've never had Baumkuchen before, but this was outstanding.
Okay.
The lemon, the lavender, it wasn't too much. It wasn't too sweet. It was just enough, moistness. And I think I ate the whole thing. Our daughter tried it. She's like, "That's not for me." I was like, "Well, it's not sweet. It's not super sweet."
Yeah.
So
kids will do that.
But yeah, so I really, really liked this. I would definitely get this again, and it was really pretty to look at too, which is important.
That's very important in desserts. I've learned over the years.
That's what I think. And then we went over to the last place we got was Citrus Blossom over at the Odyssey. And oh, by the way, everything that I've mentioned has been a new thing. I forgot to mention that.
Going after new stuff, yeah.
All new stuff is what I've been trying until this one. This one was, I got two things. I got the orange sesame tempura shrimp with orange chili sauce. We got that last year.
That's always good.
And the year before. And it's always really good.
Was it as good as last year?
It was not as good.
Really?
It had been sitting out for a bit.
Ooh, that's not good.
It had been sitting out for a bit because it was not fresh. It was $7.50, and I think it came with 5. Yeah, it came with 5.
It's a decent amount,
which is a great amount, and it was good. But it's just it like I said, it's been sitting out, and it was just like okay. But we also got the lumpia, which is new, and it's $6 for that. And this is a plant-based dish. And it's plant-based pork, green papaya salad, and yuzu sweet and sour plant-based sauce.
No, God!
Sorry, I just had to interject.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I wouldn't have, this would have been all you even if I was there.
Actually, you wouldn't have been able to tell it didn't have meat.
Well.
You really wouldn't have.
Well, maybe.
It was so good.
That's good.
It was really good. I mean, like for plant-based like pork, which wasn't like actual pork, I literally could not tell a difference.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend this to somebody that is on a plant-based diet or wants a plant-based dish and just doesn't like the like impossible meats or whatnot. This was really good.
Okay.
And it's like a spring roll kind of like lumpia.
You are a fan of spring rolls.
I do love spring rolls. But it was good. The only thing that I got this day that I really was just like, was the strawberry shortcake.
But it still was decent, though.
It was decent. Everything else was just, it was good. Like everything was just turned out to be really good,
Yeah. I mean, I will say for the most part, most of the food kitchens and things that they do they're consistently pretty solid.
Right.
At the festivals.
Yep. It's true. So that's the dishes I got to try, and I spent about $40.
Okay.
So I ended up getting 8 dishes. So that averages out. I guess it was more than that. I guess it was like 40, 45 maybe.
I mean, it's a decent. Like I said, I'm surprised most people in that poll said that 100 because I really figured most people would be, 5 or 6 dishes or something, something like that. But
yeah. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What else did you guys do?
So we had it at the playgrounds. Like I said, we did the play along or bay, whatever it's called, between Yacht and Beach Grub.
Probably Play Along Bay because Storm Along Bay is.
But I don't think it's actually called that. I think it's called something else. And I think I'm calling it Play Along Bay.
Play Along Bay makes a lot of sense. If they didn't name it that, they totally should.
Okay, so I had to look it up, and it is called that. So
makes sense, yeah. If they didn't do that, I'd be like, you have missed a golden opportunity here.
So we talked about that already, and then we went to the one that's always there, right outside of Creations, like on the Epcot or the test track side, and that's the Camp Get Out and Play one. And it's had the same stuff forever, but they kind of rethemed it a little bit.
Right.
We spent a little time there, not much. We also saw some merchandise for the festival. We saw Mickey and Goofy and Minnie. We literally walked into that meet and greet, by the way. That's the one that's inside at the plaza, Community Core Plaza.
Oh, it wasn't busy?
We walked in.
Okay.
There was nobody in front of us. So we got to spend a lot of time in there. It was really fun.
Okay.
Got some magic shots. And then, one of the main things that we wanted to do while we were there at Epcot was to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind because our daughter has expressed a lot of interest in returning to that ride. So last time she rode it was about 2 years ago and she was 6. And at that time it was a little much for her. She did it a couple times, but it's just really intense.
Yeah, I mean, she'd ridden it multiple times, but I think she was just kind of like, I'm good on that for a while.
Yeah. So she decided that she really wanted to ride Guardians again. I was like, awesome. All right, let's do it. Well, when we left the house about 8:30, we hadn't checked wait times because it was just early entry at that time. By the time we checked, maybe like half an hour later at 9 o'clock, the ride had not opened for the day. Cosmic Rewind had not opened yet. So we're like, ew, okay. So we finally get to Epcot about 10:45 and walk in. Still hasn't opened yet. So I told her, I was like, well, let's just do the other stuff we wanted to do. And then, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it opens and we can ride it.
And this is one reason you didn't go into the World Showcase.
By about 1 o'clock, I said, okay, we're not going to go into World Showcase because I don't want to be over in France. And then the ride opens and we're having to like dash for the next like 10 minutes across the park. And then, the line is really long. We don't want to do that.
Right.
So we stayed in the World Celebration, World Nature, or World Discovery area so that we're close enough. And so we're checking. I'm literally checking every 5 minutes to see if it's opening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really wanted to not have to wait for 2 hours to ride it, And I told her, I was like, the max time I'm waiting for this is like 75, 80 for you, and I'll do it for you. Because we didn't have a Lightning Lane single pass, because when I went to go buy it, because it was only a 3-day before deal, not a 7-day, because you're sitting on property.
Right.
By the time I went to go buy it, the only thing available was at like 8 p.m. or 7:30, and I was like, we're not going to be there at 7:30. The availability wasn't very good, so I was like, well, we'll just stand in line. So about 1:45, 2 o'clock, this is when we went over to the camp, get out and playground. So I'm sitting there just watching her, make sure she's cool and she's having fun. And there's this couple sitting next to me in a bench, and this guy walks up and he said, yeah, Guardians just opened and it's a 50-minute wait. And I go, huh? What? Huh? And I said, Guardians is open, and just interjecting in their conversation, which was very rude. And I should not have done that, but I was like, I wanted to make sure I heard him right, And so he's like, yeah, it just opened. I was like, and I yell across our daughter's name. I was like, let's go, Guardians is open. And she just dashes out. And so she's briskly walking,
So you caused a pandemonium.
Oh, I caused pandemonium
at the playground.
But because we were literally very close to Guardians of the Galaxy, we were able to get in line. And at that time, when we stopped inside, we were up by the display of the ship. The ship that sits outside. Right. There's one inside that's in a display, like in the queue. We were right there next to it when we stopped. So we actually only ended up waiting 20 minutes before the pre-show started. And we were out of the ride in 40 minutes total.
Wow.
So we did really, really good because we were so close when they reopened the ride. Did I know they were going to reopen the ride? No. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be done all day.
Just hoping.
We were just really, really hoping. So we rode it, and we got September, which I was thrilled with because I love that one. And we got on the ride. The launch goes backwards, we're going around, and I told our daughter, it's kind of like it's dancing, it's floating along, and it's like dancing, it's a dancing coaster. And it's halfway through, she goes, this isn't scary, this is so fun. I was like, yay, in the middle. And so we got out, and she's like, that's a lot, but it is fun. I was like, yeah. I'm glad you say so, because I love that you want to ride it with me now. So yay for that. And that was the main reason she wanted to go, but we just still had a great day at Epcot. And we went to Magic Kingdom later and did some stuff over there, but that was our day at Epcot, basically.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. I am glad how she, even if she gets scared of something, she's willing to try it again later. So I think I like that she does that. She
really does like roller coasters. I think that it just has to be her idea. Like, you can't just be like, we're going to go ride this. She's like, she needs to think about it. She needs to okay, do I really want to do it? Like, how scary is it? And
I don't know where she gets that.
Yeah. She just
I'm the exact same way.
I know. But it was a great day. We had an awesome time spending it together. Usually we would bring both the kids. Lately, they haven't gone as much, but we no longer have the double stroller.
Yeah.
We're not using it anymore. And so we didn't have a stroller that day, and she did.
After I fixed up the double stroller.
After you fixed it.
It's now like a Cadillac out there, but
our kids, they don't need a double stroller anymore, bro. They don't need it.
Did you bro me?
I broed you.
Jeez.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, she did great. It was so fun. We were exhausted, but we got home at like almost 11 that day, but it was a really good day.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Me too.
Like I said, we had a boys' day.
Yeah, we did.
And I replaced the sink.
Did. Yeah.
And we got some meat and french fries. We did some stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. But Flower and Garden dishes, thumbs up for most of them. I was happy with what we tried, and can't wait to try more.
So Flower and Garden this year, topiaries and all that.
Yeah, it's
really
great.
Good.
Oh yeah, the topiaries. We did take a picture in front of Groot, and he does play music, but he wasn't at the time when you took a picture, so didn't get to that. But
well, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add because I did not go. So.
Oh, just that we did also ride Living with the Land, and they do put displays up for Flower and Garden, kind of. And this one was the princesses. There was Tiana, there was Moana, Rapunzel. I think Belle. Was Belle one of them? Maybe. So we did ride that.
Great nap spot.
Great
midday nap spot. Yeah. I will say, thing about the double stroller. I bet we've used that double stroller more than, I would say on average for sure, more than most people. That thing's gotten used a ton.
Yeah.
Maybe we should file for a Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know. It's got a lot of use, but
we used it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for sharing your flower and garden experience.
I mean, we did more that day, but
yeah,
we already talked about it. So
agreed. All right. Well, I think that will do it for the show. So be sure to check us out on social media. It's at Cap the Magic everywhere. So you can check those out. Follow us on all those. Also, be sure to check out the Capture the Magic YouTube channel. I have at least daily videos out. I just did one on the latest Epic Universe release, some official photos in the park. And it's kind of cool seeing it on the ground level and not from aerial views. So you can check that out. And again, it's going good. It's almost at 11,000 subs, so growing really quick over there. So go check that out. And then, like I said, if you want video versions of the show, you can go to CTM Podcast over on YouTube and check that out there. Also, I did want to mention there's a new live stream show that I'm doing on the Capture the Magic YouTube channel on Saturdays, at least once a month, maybe twice a month, with some of the guys from Orange Grove 55. I think we're calling it theme parking. I think that's what we're going to call it.
Okay.
And so we had one on the Saturday, and we just chat about the latest news. As there's not much news right now involving theme parks, so it's really tough to find news to talk about. I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, that'll be. I think we're going to do another one not this coming week, but next week after that. So it might be twice a month there, but check that out. And go subscribe over at Cap the Magic if you want to be part of that. Those are some good guys, and a lot of them are based out of California, so we get some perspectives on Disneyland and what's going on the West Coast as well. So it's good thing to check out there. We also have some other shows on the network. We have the CTM Universal show, where we talk about Universal Studios. Just had an episode coming on Monday, all about the latest Epic Universe news, because there's tons of it that's coming out almost daily at this point. So we have more of that on there. You can find it on this feed and also its own feed. Capture the Magic Universal Edition is what that one is. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show.
Yes, and I'll have a new trip report show on Monday.
On Monday.
On Monday. So look for that. If you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, fill out the information at the top, and tell me as much information as you can about your trip. If your trip is something I am interested in covering for the show, I will contact you.
All righty. And of course, if you want some great theme park apparel that is the top-notch quality you can find, then check out Capture the Magic Apparel, where we print everything in-house. Jamie ships it out. Like, everything is done as we can in-house, designed in-house, all those things. So you can have the highest quality shirts, very comfortable, comfort colors, next level, hoodies, sweatshirts, whatever you want, we can print on there for you. And we take great pride in it. It's a great way to contribute to the show, and you'll have shirts that will last you years. Again, as I see people constantly wearing shirts from like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, wow, it holds up. And I can attest that the shirt I'm wearing now, I think is like 5 years old, and it still holds up. So Some solid shirts that you can find over at ctmapparelco.com. And you can still use the promo code MARCH to save 15% off of your order. And if you order $50 or more, you get free shipping on top of that as well. So again, ctmapparelco.com to get yourself the best theme park apparel, most comfortable theme park apparel you will find. So, all right, well, that'll do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
We will see you in the parks.
bye.